So today I'm going to show you how to set up a bioactive vivarium. So my green tree python is eventually going to be moving into this, which is going to be his adult enclosure, because right now he's in a 12 by 12 by 18, and this one's an 18 by 18 by 24. So he's not ready for it yet, but I figured we'll go ahead and get it prepared and ready to go. Now, kind of a couple disclaimers before we start this video though. Firstly, this isn't the only way to set up Bioactive. You can do it however you want to do it. This is just the way that I've set up all my other snakes Bioactive, and it really works for me. So, the second disclaimer is I'm not endorsed by any of these companies. This is just what I have available and what works. The main thing we're going to start with, and you can't really see it because it's down here on the floor in a huge sterilite tub, but we start with just regular old eco earth. I like the bricks because it holds humidity better. Now if you're doing things in like a desert bioactive, you would want to use dry, and then your actual formula for your substrate would be a lot different in that case anyway. Then I use a little bit of Zoom Ed Forest Floor, and that's just cypress mulch to kind of break up the substrate and let it be more aerated, stuff like that. And then the last thing is a big old blob of sphagnum moss. So we'll go ahead and soak this sphagnum moss in water while we do everything else. That way it can be fully hydrated by the time we're ready to use it. Now, when you're setting up a tropical bioactive, and you guys are going to get a weird view of me here, but when you're setting up a tropical bioactive, the main thing you want to keep an eye out for is drainage. So, drainage layers are kind of the most important part, really, of a bioactive. Well, the most important starting point. So let me move all these plants out of here, because I just had them in here under the lighting to keep them water propagating and doing well while we set all this up. What I use is thick, chunky aquarium gravel. Now you can use this, you can use hydro balls, you can use perlite, you can use ceramic aquarium media, whatever you want to use. It just so happens that gravel's cheaper for me. So we'll pour this out in here. This is going to be really loud. Boom. Now ideally you want your drainage layer 1 inch to 2 inches deep for most plants. Smooth it all out there. Yeah, we could stand to go a little deeper. So now what we'll do is mix the substrate. Alright, so we've got our big old tub of eco earth here. Whoop, broke the Tupperware tub. That's cool. Anyway, we've got our big old tub of eco earth here. So the first thing we'll mix in is going to be the forest floor. And we'll just mix all that in by hand. Just make sure we get it all up from the bottom. Good, good, good. And then we'll start throwing in some of this sphagnum moss and just break it apart real good. And if you have any extra sphagnum moss at the end, you can always pack it down in the floor, like around your plants too. That way you've got some extra moisture holding on the surface as well. Alright, that should be good for now, so we'll just mix that in too. Let's add the rest. Oh, this is still dry because it really didn't get to soak very long, but that's alright, because once I get everything planted and stuff, I'll water it pretty well too. So that's now the messy part. Getting it into the tank. Alright, so I'm just using an old deli cup because I'm cheap. And then we just start throwing dirt in here. Right on top of the drainage layer. looks like I've added way too much dirt, but the beauty of it is, smush it. Because not only does it let you add more dirt, but if there's any moisture still holding in your eco-earth, it's just going to press it all down into the drainage layer, so you've already got water in there for your plants. And then you spread it out a little bit better, keep smushing, and keep adding. Basically, at the front of the tank, if you're doing a front opening enclosure, you get it all the way up to the vent lines, but you can always slope it up in the back, especially for arboreal species, in this case, like for a green tree python, or an emerald tree boa, or really anything arboreal that, you know, would fit in here. There is something I've been wanting to try for a while, and I'm going to go ahead and do that in here, and that is you can either use like a cork bark ground or one of these log hides. Carve it out a spot here. Bury it just a little bit. Push some substrate up around it. And kind of squish it into one wall. You can do it on the back, you can do it on the side, wherever you want to stick it. And then fill it up with substrate. And then boom, you've made a planter, like a pot that kind of elevates another plant up. And what I want to do now is kind of angle this back bit up and kind of build up some dirt around that so it kind of stays where it is instead of, you know, gradually drifting. So now we can start planting plants. So first I think I'm going to take this little thing, which is kind of a hanging vine. I forget the name of it, but it's a cool little thing, and it's just got enough roots that we could propagate it here. But it's been water propagating for a little bit, and then we can soil propagate it inside of this little planter box. And then this other one here is called, it's a type of prostrata, I believe it is, which is, almost looks like a tropical succulent, really. That'll fill up, the vines will come out, and then this will fill up this pot. So that's pretty cool. This draconia here, which, draconias are fun. They're easy to come by. I think I want it in this back corner. Now, with as deep as my substrate is, normally I would say try to get your roots, for some of your plants if you can, in the drainage layer, but with as deep as we made the substrate here, that's going to be next to impossible without burying the whole plant. I've got a lucky bamboo here. I don't know if I want to use that yet. Hold on. The next one is this little umbrella. So we'll put him, I kind of want him front and, like, not front and center, but like center. Next we'll do the golden pothos, which for the most part a standing vine, or a ground cover vine. So we can kind of put it wherever we really see fit, honestly. And it usually does pretty well. And I grow this a lot, so I can always snip more pieces of that. I've got this little tiny sprout of snow pothos that I'm honestly not sure if it's going to make it. So I'm just going to put it in the little planter up here too. Alright, so I just cut this piece, rather robust piece of pothos, with some pretty substantial roots out of an empty bioactive that I have going on that I really just don't have anything to put in right now. So we're going to actually try to get, with as long as this root is, we'll see if how close to the drainage layer I can get it. And like I said, it is a ground vine for the most part. You can train it to climb, but it is a little bit of a pain to do so. Now, there are other plants that are in his current bioactive that I really want to I guess, bring along when I move him finally to this tank. So that'll happen. But for now, this is a decent start. Now, obviously, in addition to the plants that I'm going to put in there with him, I would also add other plants as well. Now, for the last step, now some people recommend doing this while you're mixing your substrate. Some people, you know, it really just depends on your personal preference when you want to do this, but the next and final step is going to be your cleanup crew. I like to do it last just because I don't want to have a bunch of springtails and isopods living in the tub of dirt that I didn't use. So, I've got a small little springtail culture in here going, so we'll just go ahead and add them and let them do their thing. We'll spread them out a little bit, kind of. Now, to be fair, I have so many friggin' springtails living in my other tanks that I could honestly just scoop a chunk of dirt out of some of my other bioactives and toss them in here. And that would be fine too. If you've got an isopod and springtail culture going already, why buy more? But plus, I like the little leaves on there. That's kind of cute. Alright, so last step for this is just to mist it down. You're done. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Bioactives are really nice because they help with humidity. They're really pretty. You'd never really have to clean snake tanks. They are a little pricey to set up because you have to buy so many different things. But for the most part, they're not too bad. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you next time.